Breathing Space contains adult content such as substance use, sexual situations, and violence. This episode contains mention of parental abuse. Additional sensory contact warnings can be found in the show notes. Previously on Breathing Space.
Well, this is the story. I don't know if it's true, but it's true enough. The ships had recently been turned away from Rezanov Station by a Navy detachment, even though they'd been requesting medical aid and food. You know, basic humanitarian stuff. Navy'd even shot a few rounds in their direction just to make up point. No one realized it at the time because there were a lot of folks learning the trades as they went back then, but one of those rounds had put the tiniest crack in the reactor wall of the Barroso. Nothing that would trip any alarms immediately, but one of those long-term problems that makes itself known a little too late to do anything about it.
And now, Breathing Space presents Fable of the Family.
The stars are bright but distant, their fire's the only light. The coldest stars upon us, the gaping maw of night, alone against the storm front, no mortal soul could last, but shelter in my arms, dear, and this hard time may pass. Like ships upon the wave crests, we rise and fall and roll. Through squalls and gales we weather great forces beyond control, with no choice but to sail on. We will make the black our home. The strength we find in each other, and we'll never sail alone.
Is your office bigger than the last I was here?
What was that? Etianne. That was quick.
I got your message, and, well, we haven't seen the Enclave since you expanded again. Figured this was a good spot for our next thing.
Oh yeah? Who's coming?
The Brave, the Shoulder Your Burdens Together, and the Forge.
Well, it'll be great to see everyone.
Was what you wanted to talk about pressing? Is it some problem?
Nah, I'm just pulling it Etianne on you.
Do people actually say that? Pulling an Etianne?
Only the ones who've been blindsided by a 72-slide presentation on a series of political maneuvers that need to happen and why they're gonna help. Hang on, I'll get the boy in here. Yeah, your aunt's here. Come on up, we're gonna lay it out.
Is this all only going to give me more gray hair, or should I be really worried?
I think you're gonna love it.
Now I'm really worried.
Did you get Evie's design files?
Yes. When she said refit, I pictured more of a... Honestly, I don't know what I pictured, but it wasn't that.
My daughter has many virtues, but restraint ain't one of them.
She wants to replace fully 90% of the look structure, remanufacture the reactor, change the internal layout, and, apparently, add an entire 50 meters to the keel length. I'm not sure it can be done.
If Evie says it can be done, it can be done. Give us a big enough crew and a place to put the hull, and we will build a ship that can move Terra. But if you want her to scale things back, just tell her. It's your ship.
I've got time to talk to my people and figure out what they'd prefer. Our slot's not up for 5 years at the rate you're going.
Don't dally. So far as Quint, we've completed 7 refits and launched 3 new hulls. And we may be ramping up more in the near future.
How's that? I thought Arcturus was out of room. Oh, hello, nephew.
Admiral?
There's no such thing.
Well, far be it from me to set the jinx on you, but we can all see the graffiti on the station wall.
I'm not worried about jinxing. I don't want to be an admiral.
The rest of the captains just have to get you drunk one night, and you'll be one before you wake up, and it'll be the system's first flag officer impressment.
We need a fleet first.
And now we come to why I called you. We think we have an opportunity to move your timetable up.
What? Really?
Really. You're not wrong about Arcturus being full. Governor loves us, but we've already expanded into every bit of room here that we can. It's still not enough yard space for us. I've got crews idle right now, running drills and spinning their gears. Although if I could somehow magic up some space for them, we still don't have enough materials.
I know, Yuri. We can get you all the raw stock you can handle, but some of the more exotic materials and intermediate components still have to be purchased on the open market, and the family just doesn't have liquid assets the Ulco will accept.
I know. We're coming to you with solutions, not problems.
Well, at the very least, not problems for us.
Oh, God.
We have a solution to the money problem.
Yeah?
Sorta. See, I try to run a tight ship here, but we've got 2,200 family members on crew now, more than even the Light does, and I can't keep them locked up and away from the station at large. They go out, they make friends, they bring their friends back here.
Okay.
And like I said, we launched 3 brand new hulls last Quint, on top of our refit schedule. There's no way to keep that secret.
And people are mad?
Oh, I wish. Look at this. That list, all of it. Keep scrolling. Yeah, all of that is people trying to hire us.
They want us to... You want to build ships for the Ulco.
They are foaming at the mouth for bespoke ships, Etianne. Delaney, Sixin, Europa. None of them will even answer their own comm dress unless you're a corporation with a gross intake bigger than most moons. Small yards are too small to build like we do. People will pay for new ships and match their specs, and word of our engineering has gotten around. There's an opportunity here. We sell ships to the Ulco. That's a mountain of credits.
Which we turn around and buy the materials and parts that we can't produce fast enough on our own. How far does one Ulco ship go?
Matt says we build one for them. That buys us into making 5 ships for ourselves.
Okay, I'm sold. But this doesn't solve anything. In fact, it makes things worse because if we have to give up yard space to make ships for sale, that makes less to launch our own.
Son, you're up.
I can see where this is going.
Oh, really? Perhaps this little piece of genius is too obvious to work then.
Not exactly where, but I know the rough vector. Someplace seedy.
Why, of course, Aunt. That's where all the best deals are. It's just, when the Wing was telling me about this...
I'm sorry. The Wing.
Oh, that's Yuri. Don't ask why. Anyway, the shipyard situation. I had that rattling around the old bone box when I happened to bump into a friend who, after a lot of back and forth, it turns out I still owe a favour to. Now, she's running series these last few years, and she's just had a choice bit of dinner land in her lap. Now, are you familiar with the concept of a shipfall?
Of course.
Excellent. Well, there's going to be one at Ceres very soon. My friend Faza knows my current situation vis-a-vis the family, and, assuming I have some deal of sway, which I like to think I might, she would very much like for a lot of our more salvage-oriented ships to show up to it.
Well, I'm sure something can be worked out.
But you see, I am a curious soul by nature, and I immediately started off on the hunt to find out just what was going to be hauled off to be taken apart. Turns out to be a very hush-hush deal, very need to know, because this particular shipfall is being brought out of the inner systems. There are apparently contracts that state this salvage to be handled by the crews on Mars. But there has been some backroom dealing going on by the Northern Republic in order that they can use Ceres instead, bypass their contracts, make a great deal more money, and get their dirty business fingers into the local economy.
So what are they salvaging?
Ursula K. Le Guin Station.
Okay, that's interesting. UKLG is no Delaney or Sixon, but it's big enough. Hell, it's where the light you carry in your heart's keel was laid.
Small is actually a good thing. It's small enough to be made mobile.
Evie says it can be done?
Evie says it can be done.
So we need to get it. Buying or stealing?
Yes! My dear friend Faza is overseeing the shipfall, and she is not, bless her, an honest woman. She will be absolutely chuffed by the offer of a not insignificant bribe, in order to assure that the family salvage crews, and only family salvage crews, are registered for the bidding. We split the wins between different people and make sure there appears to be a healthy amount of counterbidding and price warring over each auction, but really we're just barely covering the reserves. Everything is done and over in record time, and we're already burning away from Ceres before the blue lines can even reach Terra.
The family is not long on liquid assets, Gray. With what money are they bidding?
Oh, did I not mention? Very fortuitous, the Northern Republic's advanced xeno-legal executive has a few operational accounts absolutely overflowing with funds. Some of these are earmarked for running up bids on this very shipfall. They really should be more careful. It only took a little kidnapping to get access to them.
So we're buying UKLG shipyard from the NR with money you stole or will steal from the NR.
Well, there are some shell corporations and legal rabbit holes in there too, but if you wish to be very simplistic, yes.
And they won't notice until we have possession.
This particular operation is being overseen by the Vice President of the Northern Republic. It just so happens that myself and Link have evidence on her that, if released at the correct time, will cause enough of a scandal to, let us say, distract her. Now, I'm afraid that it would alone not be her downfall, but if she simultaneously misused a lot of money, and broke a lot of supposedly ironclad contracts, and lost an entire shipyard, well, one can hope.
At the end of the day, the family walks away with a solution to our problems. We take UKLG deep in the black, fix her up. She starts doing the work that up until now we've been doing here, and she does it away from prying eyes.
And Arcturus pivots full-time to production of ships for sale, generating revenue that we can feed back to the family.
Yep. We make it our public face to the UCO, all nice and tidy with legal corporate paperwork and everything. And we'll rotate our people through here to keep part of the family, but we shift our focus to the fleet.
Because with something as big and slow as a moving shipyard, we'll need to protect it. It gives a concrete reason for the family to gather and travel together again.
Sooner rather than later. Ray's ready to start making the moves he needs. This would all go down about 60 days from now. You know the law we carry with us better than anybody I know. Can we do this?
Certainly, we can defraud non-family all we like. There's actually a provision from the Sixth Council that we're supposed to steal from Terra whenever we can, need it or not. Not that I think that's been even hinted at being enforced. Council before last, we officially gave Gray leeway to act on opportunities he comes across, so no one can complain this is a rogue operation. Being a rogue operative is kind of your whole purpose.
Oh, aren't you flatterer?
We can do it. We should do it. Although that particular grin, Gray, it makes me nervous.
Too late, you agreed. Ta-ta, I'm off to defraud a government.
Oh, we're doing it. Tell me you're taking the new shipyard.
If the council will let me.
Everyone thinks I'm going to be the first admiral, but I wouldn't bet on anybody but you.
We are a long way from Commodore Grandma's day. I don't think we'll need a single leader again anytime soon. So there could be a lot of admirals. Law Speaker's probably an admiral. Professor General's one. Whoever's in charge of building ships could be an admiral. Probably another for trade. Whole mess of them. I wouldn't count yourself out, though. Evie says you've got a nickname with the junior officers.
At Arcturus?
Here, the forge, the look, all over the place. The Admiral.
Oh, fuck me. That's just terrible enough to stick.
Come on. Let's go see Evie about her plans for the look. See if she's got options that don't involve completely stripping it to bones and building a brand new ship in its place.
I'm not opposed to her plan. I just want to talk with my crew first. It's their home, too.
We're just getting you some options to take back to them. And she'll want to show you the real renders, too. Apparently they're too high detail to send over the blue line.
All right. I'm in.
Greetings, Wanderer. You have a relayed communication from the...
Shoulder your burdens together.
Please stay on the line to speak to your calling party.
The hell is this? Hello?
Hey, Dad.
Oh. Hey there, Cranky. Been a minute, hasn't it?
Were you worried?
Ain't nothing out there you can't handle, right? Why? You worried about your old man?
Not any more so than usual.
I'm fine.
I know, Dad. I'm calling for a favor.
Okay. What's up?
I hear the rake is headed to Ganymede. Is that flat plane real, or are you pulling STC's chain?
No, it's real.
Could you divert to Europa?
Sure. What am I diverting for?
Passenger pickup.
Okay. One of your new... friends?
Just a kid. Needs a ride home. You still got Beetlejuice with you?
If I don't, then I need to have a word with whoever's been leaving trails of drool a meter up on every wall panel.
Bee's a good girl and an excellent judge of character. You let her drool on whatever she wants.
Not like I could stop her.
If she's anything like Big Stuff was, she might want to sleep in the doorway of whatever room you stick this kid in. Do me a favor and let her.
Oh. Yeah, of course. Is she one of the ones from Tethys?
No, we handled all that. Us and the Rangers. This one is a Peregrine National, out on what they call a wander.
Sounds like my kind of thing.
It is, it really is. Family kids do that. Go out among the... I can't say regular folks. They use the word alco. Not sure what I should say. They go out among the not peregrination for a few years. They say it's got practical purposes. Young ones go out and learn skills and pick up bits of knowledge. But I think it's also sort of a coming of age, you're an adult now thing. Culture, you know. They go out and see the world beyond. Get a little of the system in their blood so they have context before they come home.
Is that what you're doing? Sort of in reverse?
Dad, I've already got so much of the system in my blood, there's not much room for anything else.
I said it was in reverse.
Okay, if you mean it like that. Maybe, yeah. It's interesting, being around so many people all the time. More people live on the shoulder than on Raven. It's loud and kind of confusing sometimes, but I don't know, it's still kind of like being on the rake. Always on the move with stretches in the black so long you can forget there's anything else. But there's just more people along for the ride. And they really care. About each other, about doing what's right. About me, they say. I wasn't expecting that.
Love sought is good, but giving unsought is better.
You're not mad at me for going?
What? Of course not, Cranky. You were gonna go your own way someday. I'm just glad you still want to call your old man. Even if you do need the pretense of a favor to do it.
I'm gonna send you an orbit. Once you pick up the kid, you head there. It'll look like it's just some bit of void as far from anything as nothing can be, but it's where you'll find the fleet.
Yeah, alright.
I'll meet you there.
Show me around?
We can go to a show. Some friends of yours are supposed to be playing there.
Talia's?
Mm-hmm. Doing their version of Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, yeah. I know a bank where the wild thyme blows, where rock slips and the nodding violet grows, quite over canopied with luscious woodbine, with sweet musk roses, and with eglantine. As good as Gerst and them are, the problem with Midsummer is that no one could possibly do justice to the version I have in my head.
Well then, we can throw popcorn at them.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, Etta?
Yeah, Dad?
Don't listen to your Aunt Luce. Argyre would have been proud of you for what you did at Tethys. And maybe I don't exactly approve of barging into a fight that wasn't yours. But I can't say I'm not just a little bit proud, too. Oh, when she's angry, she is keen and shrewd. And though she be but little, she is fierce.
I'm taller than you, Dad.
Well, maybe the bard doesn't always get it exactly right.
Okay, who are you and what have you done with the real Ekrem?
I'm maturing.
Well, at least one of us is. I should go. I'll send you the info you need for the pickup. I'll call you again in a few days, okay?
Of course. Love you, Cranky.
I love you too, Dad.
Captain, you wanted to see me?
Yes, please. I have a favor to ask you.
Of course, anything.
Have you seen the Arlington's Fabbers before?
Only in passing. They're Californian, right?
Yes, top of the line. They've been invaluable. We would have been dead in space 6 months ago without these producing spare parts for us.
Why are they idle then? Surely we need more parts for the fleet.
That's the favor.
Ah.
According to your service record, you were put under disciplinary action for running an unauthorized code file through the Fabber on the USS Sally Ride.
Yeah, the brass did not appreciate me distributing customized flight helmets to the entire division. And I know they violated copyright and featured obscene slogans or whatever, but I think it falls under free speech protections.
If I'd have been there, I'd have asked for one that looked like the Spectrum Squadron helmets from Wing Infinity.
Oh my god, I love that show.
Me too, but the books were better. Anyway, the point is that is supposed to be impossible on CBR-loaned equipment.
I love things that are supposed to be impossible, because then people assume they don't need to actually prevent them from happening.
So you can unlock these too?
Happy to. What do you need, Fabbed? We gonna feed the fleet by selling knockoff Wing Infinity merch?
If it comes to that, sure. But as a start, more Fabbers.
No shit. Okay. Yeah. I can see the logic.
We've got mining capacity in the fleet. With enough Fabbers, we can build refining and manufacturing infrastructure.
Since neither AF nor the Belters will help us, we help ourselves.
Damn straight. Fuck, nothing can come from nothing. From nothing, we will make tools, build homes, and grow food. Build ourselves shields against the void.
You have no idea how happy it makes me that you live up to your reputation.
My reputation?
Captain Amity Archer, the warrior poet of the First Fleet.
Oh, God. Do they really call me that?
Well, someone tried to get Shake Sorrow to catch on, but that's a bit obtuse for your average space jockey.
What about Dingo? How obtuse is that one?
Oh, easy. I got in a fight with a kangaroo during my Atmo flight training in Brisbane. Have you seen a male roo? Built like dudes who inject protein in between their toes, and they have vicious claws. I've got a pair of scars down my back and thigh that you would have to see to believe.
Atmo flight training has been out of Hyderabad since I went through it.
Would you believe that's because I'm all bite, no bark? Dingoes don't bark, by the way. Well, you were a flyby once upon a time. What was your call sign?
Cupid. Oh, don't give me the eyebrow. How many Archer puns do you think the average jethead can come up with?
Are you sure it's from the name and not because they were in love with you?
Hardly.
Come on, you're a 6-foot smoke show.
Despite never having had children, I've been giving off intense mom energy since I was 16. I think it throws people for a loop.
Never had kids? Is that because you didn't want them, or...?
Never crossed my mind. Until all of this started, I was content to be a very good naval officer. Now, I'll just be happy if we all make it to the end of the year.
I hear that.
I will say, though, that if I had a daughter, I would be very proud to have one like you.
Sir?
I know a lot of people have made it seem like you're a screw-up, Dingo. I think your father's death left a hole that everyone's been trying to shove you into, no matter if it fits you or not. But you deserve to be judged on your own merits. And you're a fine young woman. You're creative, compassionate. You're funny. Although I am not glad any of us are here, in this situation exactly, I'm glad you're here. I am glad to have gotten to know you.
Thank you, Captain.
Please. You're welcome to call me Amity.
I'd answer to Thea, if it's you who's calling. I'm glad to have got to know you too. Since we're treasonous mutineers and all, I don't think rank really matters much anymore. But there's no one else I would follow as far or as close. Yeah, don't interact. Knees, genitals, often.
What?
Dingo. It stands for don't interact, knees, genitals, often.
There should be a K in there, Dick-go.
I think we have established that cadet flybys are not, technically speaking, literate. On the first day of spaceflight training, one of the guys made a crack about me being a Napo cadet and a charity case. So, I hit him in the dangly bits. Then, basically the same thing happened the next week, and I got a reputation for being a bit thin-skinned. Thus, don't interact, Dingo.
Sounds like those assholes deserved it. Do you really have kangaroo scars on your ass?
The scars are there, but they're from falling off a trampoline when I was 12.
Oof. I broke my arm and leg on one of those as a kid.
Sequentially or concurrently?
Arm was when I hit the tree next to the trampoline. Falling out of the tree was what got the leg.
Ooh, that must have been an epic jump, though.
I wish someone had caught it on camera. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings.
You just have all of these on tap?
Some words live in your mind, some in your heart, and some your soul.
Give me a recommendation.
Where to start? There are the classics, like Eliot. We have lingered in the chambers of the sea, by I see girls reed with seaweed red and brown, till human voices wake us and we drown. Or wild's a favorite. Some love too little, some too long. Some sell and others buy. Some do the deed with many tears, and some without a sigh. For each man kills the thing he loves, yet each man does not die. Or brooks. Graves grow no green that you can use. Remember, green's your color. You are spring.
Do you have one that won't depress the fuck out of me?
Oh, no, I don't think so. But there is catharsis to be found in sad art during sad times, and beauty to be found in the language itself. Even out here, in the cold, darkest parts of space, there are lovely stars in a sky that's all around us, and lovely people who make us proud and happy, and time together.
So, we make the best of what we've got.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so what's the protocol here?
What do you mean?
Well, like, do I say, "Forgive me, sister, for I have sinned," or...
Ew, no. We can just talk. Or not. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Some people come to you and just sit there in silence?
Yeah, you'd be surprised. But I take it that's not your style.
No, I need to talk.
Something's bothering you?
The woman who called herself my mother died a couple of days ago.
I take it you two weren't close?
No, we were not. She made my childhood miserable. I spent the better part of 10 years running from her. But a few years ago, we sort of beat her. Exposed her for what she was. Cost her job, a lot of her power. And since then, things have been quiet. And now she's dead.
And how do you feel about that?
I don't know. Twisted up. Shouldn't I be happy? Or at least relieved? She'll never bother me again.
Well, sounds like she already wasn't bothering you.
I guess. I know Gray was keeping tabs on her, but she wasn't up to her old schemes, just holed up in her stupid orbital.
So what's different now that she's dead?
Nothing, I guess. Maybe when she was alive, she was a threat, at least in theory. And that meant I had to be on my guard. It just made things simpler.
Wait, how is staying on your guard simpler?
Less messy. Sort of a line in the sand. You're on one side and I'm on the other, and don't you dare cross it. That sort of thing. But if she's gone, none of that really matters anymore, and I have to look at how totally fucked up the whole stupid shitting situation really is, and I feel like I should be glad that it's over, or still mad at her for, the designer child shit, but it just makes me sad.
Well, to me, sad seems like a pretty reasonable response.
But I shouldn't be sad for her. She was a snake woman. She made everyone miserable, and she was incapable of growing or changing unless it was to just get worse. But now I just... It's not like anything she ever did made her happy, even. Not really. And like... Fuck, her own father was a damn Jarl with the actual Knights of fucking Heimdall. By that scale, it's almost a miracle she was only a regular sociopath. It didn't have to be this way. I mean, it did have to be this way because, like, now we're so far back into the what if that we might as well be talking about a different fucking universe altogether, but I guess I'm just sad because any of it happened at all.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What are you gonna do about it?
Do about what?
Well, nothing is wrong with feeling sad because the world sucks, right? The world does suck. So does this seem like the kind of time when you need to process the feeling by eating some comestible cake batter and go scream the words along to the terrible music you loved when you were a tween? Nothing wrong with that option, really. Or does it seem like the kind of time when how you feel makes you want to do something?
Well, I'm definitely gonna do that first thing, but maybe after. I keep thinking about the time I spent living rough before I lucked my way onto the Brave. I had some close calls, you know, times where any other kid would have called home for help, and I couldn't because I didn't have anyone. I wish I could go back and help that kid.
Well, there are kids out there right now. Even family kids.
Yeah. I feel like we could probably be more prepared to help when they need it.
Mm-hmm.
There are the Wanderskin, and Gray's usually out there. And hell, the no-goes would probably help some if I asked. I'll talk to Ika. Or Etianne. Maybe we could put the word out to be on the lookout for runaways, too. There's that ship the Callers run, right?
The Stepping Stone, yeah. I'll be happy to check with them, see if they want to coordinate anything.
That would be great. Thank you, sister.
Of course. I'm here to help.
Watch your head, my boy. Delivery. Who in the void ordered 80 kilos of moody 20-something?
I think you have brought me to the wrong ship, Linkskin.
No, he's brought you exactly where I asked him to.
Dear Admiral. Now, if you wouldn't mind signing for this package, the call is overdue for a reactor rotation on the cast foundations that storms cannot break, and the Wing doesn't play favorites. He will bump me 5 months back in line and tell me, "Shit, guess you're stuck here now." And then he'll force me to socialize with the Yardbirds.
Sounds like you better hurry then. I'll take care of this one.
Thank you, Aunt. Good luck, lad. You may need it.
I have been gone a long time if we have admirals now.
Hardly any wander lasts through 8 all things, Rondo Largesson. I am Law Speaker Admiral Etianne Toraswife.
Law Speaker? Oh, I see. Then this is about Tal.
It is about several things. I'm trying to determine which rise to the level of something I need to worry about in an official capacity. Did you kill her?
No.
Good start.
I was already on my wander when I heard about... My brother was not a perfect man, but he did not deserve the death that he got.
I read Law Speaker Quilson's report. It was a mess hall fight. For what it's worth, I don't think she meant to kill him.
It is not worth all that much. I heard she ran, and she must have remembered the Major's old stories as I did, because when I picked up her trail, it disappeared at the Martian Foreign Legion.
And you followed her?
I did.
Looking to exact your own justice?
The Legion is famous for taking even those sought for murder, protecting them. Reporting back to the family, it would have done nothing. But if they did not ask questions of her, they would not have of me either. I joined, took the oath, so that I could find she who slayed my brother, do the same to her, and then spend the rest of my life in a Legionnaire's prison.
What happened?
She died a hero during survival training on Olympus Mons. A rock slide, she got 2 other cadets to safety at the cost of her own life. I heard about it the next day. Never even saw her.
That would have been years ago. You stayed.
Well, I had taken the oath of a Legionnaire. I finished what I started. The Legion is not as romantic as the Major's stories made it sound, but it was not a bad life. I could have gone career, retired an old grey man.
Why didn't you?
Because every night I worry about the people I left out here.
I hear that.
Well, Law Speaker, am I in trouble?
I will have to verify what you say about Talbekiskin's death. If it is, as you say, then you're clear there. Being gone so long is not itself a problem. Serving in an Ulko military, however, is. Not unheard of course, but against the law we carry with us.
What is the punishment?
It depends. Did you ever fire on a family member or a family ship?
Never.
Threaten or take aim at the same?
No.
Encounter any member of the family while acting in an official capacity?
I did not, as far as I know or recall, encounter any members of the family.
A careful answer.
I regret I do not know everyone by name, let alone by sight.
As long as you didn't participate in harassment, and I haven't heard of any incidents with the Legion in the last 10 quints, we should be fine. I can recommend we go easy on you. Probation. Do you have plans for your return?
I am not sure. Is Aunt Jasmine still the captain of the pass?
She's at Eastbjorn now, the Arcturan Enclave. Makes seeing her boyfriend easier. I'm not one to talk, but I swear that woman has a thing for Ulko men. Brada Tallskin is captain now, so the pass is probably no longer a good fit for you.
I see.
Your brother did deserve better, Rondo. But so did Tall. And so did you.
What could anyone have done?
That is the wrong question.
What is the right question?
How can we do good now? You've got monsters in your past, so do we all. I've looked into the eyes of people who were not people on the inside. Saw what that kind of creature does when it has power over others. And I tell you this. Every second spent raging against the damage they do is a second wasted. When you can be working towards something positive. Pick up the pieces, wrap your wounds, and make a plan to make things better. Sound good?
Oh, it sounds good.
As Law Speaker, the Admiralty is giving me power to form a reservist force for enforcement and investigation. I could use someone who knows some soldiering, but isn't a soldier. Someone who can see the tension between fixing what's broken and hurting those who broke it. Could that be you?
With a little effort, I think so.
Good. Also, take it from someone who's 10 years ahead of schedule on Going Gray. Wrap your wounds was not me being rhetorical.
Pardon?
You haven't been to a reading since your brother died. Going off to hunt down his killer is not the same as grieving. Trust me, I know. Except, for me, you can substitute brother for the people I couldn't save on the build, and substitute the whole vengeance plot with, well, a whole lot of stuff, really. Doesn't really help you feel better.
Ah, yes. The old coping mechanism of becoming an admiral.
I can't say it didn't work out in some ways. For example, if you'd like, you can come to the Look and we can see about trying to make sure the next dumb kid gets a better go of it.
I would like that.
Lieutenant Junior Grade Rondo Etianne. Welcome to the Free Trader Look to the Stars and Find Hope. Home to 87 of the family.
Thank you, cousin.
Aunt.
Oh, I am honored.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. It was a good service.
Thank you,
See you
sister.
next week.
This was lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Etta, you're asleep.
No, I just was meditating.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to leave you meditating when the service was long over. Come on, we should be getting close enough to see soon.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
I like the new arm, by the way. It's very cephalopodian. How do you set the designs?
Direct neural interface. Eventually, once I get the hang of it. Apparently, the lead ship designer uses something like it for 3D drafting. When I try, currently it gets stuck on a sort of pink and orange and mint green plaid, so right now it's running on a pre-programmed pattern. Sorry about back there. I was looking for you and didn't realize you were in service. Figured I'd just wait till you were done, and I guess old habits die hard.
It's really fine. But if your snoring had disturbed anyone, I would have had to stuff you in an airlock.
Fair enough. You don't act much like a caller to me.
I beg your pardon? Was I not just sitting silently in a room full of people for well over an hour?
Mean, you act like a caller, but you don't act like a caller to me.
Oh, that. Well, you need a caller in your life like a belter needs a brand new kite. And frankly, I want the responsibility for your spiritual well-being about as much as I want a hole in my hull. Can't a girl just have a friend?
Says the girl named Sister to All.
Do you want me to go full caller mode?
No, I really don't. I was just trying to say that I appreciate it.
Oh.
It's nice to know someone who knows when to turn it off.
It's nice to know someone who I can turn it off with. I get to be a help to a lot of people, and I appreciate that, I really do. But it's nice to not be a sheepdog for a minute.
Guardian or Herdin?
Ask 10 callers and you'll get 12 answers. Some say we're meant to guide and corral, like collies. Others say we're like the Pyrenees, who thinks it's one of the sheep, there to fight the wolves.
I always like the Kangol. They have dark faces, very cute.
Personally, I think the real metaphor is the donkey.
Donkey?
Donkeys are excellent guardians. They're very smart, they eat the same thing as their flock, they speak the body language of the herd animals, and they will stomp a coyote to death with their hooves, then parade the flattened corpse around like a trophy.
Can I ask a question and you not get mad if it turns out I shouldn't be asking it?
Intriguing. Ask away, but if I'm mad, I'm mad. No changing that.
You could either be a family member who heard the call, or a caller who joined the family. Whichever one. Why?
Well, if it's the former, then As a little girl, I listened to the knockers in the night when no one else heard them. Then I grew up, and I found the people who saw the value in listening. To others, to the world, to parts of themselves that they were taught to drown out. And I thought that was a pretty good outlook on existence. If it's the latter, then I saw in the family a group of people whose voices have been historically silent in the rest of the system, who thinks no one will hear them when they speak. And I wanted to be the one that showed them they were wrong.
Why do I feel like it's both?
Because the air of mystery around me is cultivated with all the care of a ship's garden. Oh, there we are. That's a view. Over 1,000 points of light. The fleet of the family.
It's pretty. I don't think I've ever seen so many ships together like this.
Biggest fleet in the system. Only about 2/3 of our ships are here at a time. People have to leave to do the business of keeping everyone alive. That right there, that's the light you carry in your heart. Commodore Grandma's ship. Once upon a time, she was the USS Arlington, until they demilitarized her to use her reactor to grow crops. That's the Look to the Stars and Find Hope, Law Speaker Admiral Toraswife's flagship. When you're a dragoon, she's your boss. When you're not, she's your aunt. That's Fly High and Far. That's Carry a Light That Casts No Shadow. Forge Sorrow into Joy. Words in the Heart Cannot Be Taken. Pass Unnoticed in Unsafe Space. Endure Above All. Wander with Eyes Wide Open. Trust Your Heart to Swallow the Dark. Carry Your Sword with a Smile. Walk with Intention. The Spin. The Warmth. The Huddle. The Watch. The Beware. The Forgive. The Reach. The Grieve. The Stand. The Hallow. The Keep. The Find. The Never. And that's about where my memory runs out. But that big point of light, that's the cast foundations that storms cannot break, where we make all the rest. Your new home?
Yeah, Captain Largesson's idea. Gonna do yard work for a while. Cast foundations that storms cannot break. And the rest of those names. Y'all have a poetic streak.
We, and I say this as an explicitly inclusive we, Miss Hankskin, are descendants of Captain Amity Archer. So, naturally, we all have a little bit of poet in us.
I'm still not sure it should be we. Is that bad?
You're adopted, like anybody else. That can be different things at different times, so maybe you're right to have misgivings, but I think Rondo clocked you good. You think he let you join because of who your grandfather is, but he saw something in you. If he'd had said no, you'd have found some other fight to go get hurt in, or worse. But you came to us, the great big family among the stars, and you asked us to join. Maybe you just wanted a fight, but you went looking for one in a way that got you 100,000 cousins, and siblings, and nibblings, and aunts, and uncles, and maybe parents or children for you, if you're looking for them. We family talk about our first generation like they were myths, but they were just a bunch of scared people, put in a bad situation by a system that made someone a profit to do so. They did what they did just to survive, against that. On the other side of that whole panel is nothing. Just nothing. An absence of everything. And it turns out that nothing kills people more quickly than absence. Humans aren't meant to be alone. We know in our bones that when the black gives us more trouble than we can handle, we need backup. That's what family is for. When we speak, we need people who will listen. When we fall, we need people to care. When we have no voice, we need people to speak. And when we feel joy, we feel more joy when people feel it with us. You need people to be themselves so that you can be you. Out here, on the edge of nothing, we feel that emptiness so strongly. So naturally, we hold our people to us all the tighter. And when we feel the bonds between us grow, we put a name to it, and we call that adoption. A recognition of what's already there, so that we can lean on it and celebrate it.
How do you know if it's there?
It can be easy. It can be hard. You can say things too early or too late, or not say them at all, and regret it.
What if you don't have enough time?
Then you make time.
Do you want to come to the cast with
Yes! Yeah, I've been meaning to spend some time with the fleet anyway, so... and I hear the cast is noisy. Plenty for me to do there.
I'll get there.
Take your time, but don't dally. You can miss your chance. Learn a lesson from Amity Archer 100 years ago, realizing she lost a daughter before she knew she had one.
Hush. Give me a chance to listen to this.
To what?
The fleet.
Come in. Captain, I'm so sorry to intrude. You know Dev? He was staying with Lieutenant Navia. She was looking after him. No. Yes, of course. Dev, I'm sorry, Chief Wren. I only know USL, and Thea said he signed a mix of ASL and Belter sign.
It's okay, sir. He's picked up a lot of United from us, and I can help with anything else. Just sign what you can, and I'll translate.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Dev. Lieutenant Navia. Dingo was on an important mission today. She is our very best pilot, you know. We rely on her a lot. There was a problem with her skiff. She crashed.
She's not okay, is she?
No. She died.
It's okay, Dev. We're here. You're safe. Will I have to move?
Oh, no, of course not. Not if you don't want to. There's still Arrow, and Truck, and Orange, and Chief Wren here. You can stay with any of them down on the flight deck if you want. And I'm here. If you need anything. Anything at all. I'm here. What's that?
Sorry. Belter sign is crass, to put it lightly, and naturally he's upset. Maybe a little scared.
No. If ever there's a time for profanity, it's now. Dev. Dingo cared for... She loved you very much, and she didn't leave you alone. You're with us, and we're going to look after you.
Forever?
Forever and ever. We're family now. Ugh. Okay. You're surprisingly strong for a boy your size.
If he's being too much, I can...
It's fine, Chief. It's absolutely fine. Sign for me that I needed a good hug, too. Are you hungry? Yes, I thought you might be. Chief, on my desk, could you...
There you go.
It's not much. Just some survival biscuits and creamer and the last of the cocoa. But it's something. I saved a serving. Oh, no. All yours. How's the new mom doing, Chief?
She's good. Kid's good. People finally stopped fussing and let them get some sleep.
Good. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. Chief, it's terribly rude of me to forget. What is your first name?
I don't blame you. No one's called me by my first name since I enlisted. It's Avery.
Avery. I think if we're going to survive this, we're going to need to be closer than just a fleet. A fleet is just a bunch of ships. We'll need to fight for each other, because only together will any of us make it.
I think I get you.
Like I told Dev, family. Every last one of us.
Yes, sir, Amity.
Okay. Our story begins now.
Thank you for listening to Fable of the Family. This episode, Beyond This Place of Wrath and Tears, was written, directed, and edited by Scott Paladin.
Etianne Toraswife is voiced by Christina McClain.
Yuri, Eviesfather, is voiced by Scott Paladin.
Grey Linkskin is played by Vic Collins.
Rondo Largesson is voiced by John Kennard.
Ekrem Hobb is voiced by Kale Brown.
Etta Hanksin is voiced by E. Marie Davis.
Amity Archer is voiced by Lindsay Zana.
Dingo Navia is voiced by Kirsty Wolven.
Link Greyskin is voiced by Kasha Mika.
Sister to All is voiced by Lissa J.
Chief Wren is voiced by Mel Nichols,
with additional voice work by Kasha Mika. Our theme, The Elegy for Amity, was arranged by Amy Young, the lyrics by Scott Paladin, and vocals by Lindsay Zana and the Void Choir. You can find links to learn more about our cast and crew in the show notes, and more information at our website, breathingspace.lawofnames.com. Fable of the Family is a joint production of Law of Names Media and the Library of Cursed Knowledge.